And then you got, like I said, you got involved with that whole action sports scene, and it was so cool to meet all these people. And it was just like nobody had an agenda. It was just like they were doing what they loved. Everybody their own thing, be it a surfer or a skater and there was often tough times for these sports. I remember the skaters went through some, skating used to be big, and then it was, right then it was rock bottom. There was like hardly anybody, all those guys, even Tony Hawk, they were like struggling for sponsorships and all that. And
right, so that's why they do more TV work and stuff.
Yeah, exactly, or do whatever it takes. And then all of a sudden, when the X Games came, that was in '95. But trials was one of the disciplines in the very first X Games.
Oh, right.
And so was mountain biking had two disciplines, had slalom and giant slalom. They kind of invented giant slalom just like in the snow biking thing where they, it fit TV format,
Yeah.
So, so that I was in the first X Game doing the slalom and the trials. And
so good.
And that was cool because the X Game was really something new, and it was really cool that ESPN took that on, and it was actually called Extreme Games in the first year.
Right.
But they picked one guy from each sport who was kind of the poster boy. And I happened to be that guy for the trials on the mountain biking thing. But Matt Hoffman was the one for BMX. Tony Hawk was the one for skating. And there was like a few other guys and they would like send us around the country for press conferences and stuff. And they would do features leading up, come to our home, do a home story on TV. And that year, leading up to the X Games, there was a strike for Major League Baseball and hockey. Was striked.
I remember that.
So there was no season.
Yeah.
So
it was overpay, wasn't it?
So they didn't know what to put on TV. So they played my videos all day long and stuff. And it was like amazing. Like literally like I remember on Thanksgiving we turned on the TV and there's like my videos playing 2 times in a row on ESPN, And so that was a big thing, and that really lifted the sport up, and that brought kind of skateboarding and BMX out of the doghouse again,
really,
and these sports could.
There was big flourish. Buzz then, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Like even the name Extreme, that
kind of came there.
It was so exciting. It was like it's extreme, it's new, it's dangerous, it's.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was.
Where was the first X Games held at?
They were in Newport, Rhode Island.
Okay.
But the trials, and that's how our federation at the time, which was called NORBA, that was before the UCI was involved. The trials and the mountain biking, they insisted it had to be in the mountains. So they took it 2 hours away to Vermont, Mount Snow, which was a famous mountain biking venue at the time. And we rode there during the week with no spectators. So yes, it was televised.
Right.
But everything else was happening down in Newport, Rhode Island, and we kind of missed out. And at the time, if you believe it or not, mountain biking was the most professional out of all the sports involved. There was rock climbing in there, even bungee jumping. There was
Street luge?
Inline skating, street luge, I think, was in there. There was some weird ones in there, but we were the most professional. And they didn't really like the fact that everybody had so much sponsor logos on, because some of them, like the Volvo Cannondale team, Volvo was competing against Chevy, who sponsored the X Games, and they, they made us wear these bibs, and the mountain bikers were very demanding, and they made it very difficult. And I think the X Games were like, these guys are a headache. Let's like drop mountain biking, and then they put it in the winter X Games.
Okay.
The Winter X Game probably started 2 or 3 years later, and they said, let's put mountain biking in there. If they really want their mountains, they can have them. And they started racing on snow, and no trials anymore, but they did downhill or whatever it was, or slalom.
Trials in the snow would be tough. That'd be a tough watch.
Yeah, but so that was kind of the end for mountain biking in the X Games. Kind of sad, because that's when we kind of got a bit kicked out of that extreme action sports cycle, and we were back to the cycling nerds, until Palmer came along and made it a bit cooler. So
yeah, true. So what did mountain biking look like? Hey, 1 second. Let's find out after the ad break. Okay. Hey man, what an episode that was. You did amazing in it.
And so did you.
You shone like a star.
You shone like a moon.
Can we also put something up here that you can click on for the next episode?
How about we put a subscribe up there in the middle?
Yeah, love.
We're going to put a video we think that our lovely companionship will love.
Yeah.
On your face.
On my face.
Yeah.
So they can't see me now.
gone. And on my face, another video that we think people will love. And thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please hit like and subscribe. You guys are the best.
Peace and love.